Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back. It is good to see you here for yet another brutal city builder survival simulator known as Ancient Cities. You may have seen it before on the channel, and if you're a big fan of games like Dawn of Man or Banished, or of the building system of Foundation, then this game is definitely for you. Channeling elements of Ostriv and other survival games, this game is like an open-world survival city builder simulator, which is incredibly challenging. Many updates since the last time we took a look at this in around late summer of 2021, with Mesolithic jobs now being much more defined, and now biological families where you can kind of keep track of everybody and their growth within the tribe, and also tribal leaders that can help get things done. So if you guys want to see more of this one, keep in mind that this will be more of a, hey, here's a few things that are new from the previous updates, and hey, if you're looking to get into this game, here's a little bit on how to get started. Now, we likely won't even build a single house today in this game, but that's because it's a big long grind over thousands and thousands of years, and so in those times it wasn't really that common that a lot of homes would be built, but the knowledge of the people on how to hunt and gather food and how to survive winters, that knowledge was most important, and that's what kept everyone alive, as well as the homes too, the houses, the warmth, all important. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump in to our first look at all the new updates of Ancient Cities. We'll start a new game here today, and as you can see, we can start in 10,000 BC all the way up to 0 AD. At least, hopefully that's where we can go in the future. And with this nifty little slider down here, you can see where we go from the Ice Age, and with Doggerland here connecting UK or Britain to France, you can kind of see over time that all the temperatures warming up creates lakes in Africa, and new bays and more streams and such in Europe and Northern Europe, and you can kind of see Denmark become more of its more modern shape as we go further in time. Well, today we're going to start in the year, I think 6750 as we had before, and we're going to lead the Raptorians to greatness, and I'll show you everything you need to know about how to get started in the game for those of you who are interested, and a few things that are new. Let's jump in then and lead the Raptorians to greatness in somewhere on western modern France in a beautiful river junction, it looks like. Let's go. All right, here we are within the region view, and we can see the river junction nearby our people. The Lambauer people right now are going to be changed to the Raptorians, as we have a tribe of about 14 or so people. Looks like about 16. There we go, the Raptorians. So we have a few children, a few adults, and everybody idle as they're just kind of standing around. They're now a nomadic tribe that has wandered into this area, and you can see all the region around us that we can continue to migrate towards if we want to. If we click this little button here, we'll be able to move to a new location, to a river bend or a river junction or hills or a lake or a mountaintop if we'd like to. This is a pretty good region of France with lots of trees and lots of flat land, although it looks to be quite hilly. All these little valleys are perfect for us to start a settlement, and of course these little islands here are great for fishing too. We can move north this way, let's say, or just move a little bit to our southwest. Let's go ahead and move this way and settle down here at the edge of the two rivers here as they come together as a junction. We'll go ahead and unpause the game, and we see that we're being led by a 48-year-old who is very big. You don't want to mess with Ando, the big O Crusher. You can see that our tribe is also carrying a few resources, as they're still nomadic. They have things that they need to set up temporary tents or camps. They have 6 leather, a bunch of fine sticks, and also some dried fish for food. So a few things to set up shelter and a few things to continue to eat as they move now towards this river junction. We can also see that people could be pregnant or be carrying babies or whatnot. So eventually, if we go to this location and we stay here a few years and it's too rough for us, we can eventually have all of the population move to a whole nother area and try to find areas that are more fruitful. Though the city building section, once we get there, is much bigger than I think you could fill up. And so if you run out of, for example, deer, or if the coastline is not as forgiving as you hope it would be, you can then move to greener pastures. Grass is always greener on the other side of the river type thing. All you got to do is just cross it, which our people are more than capable of doing. All right, let's go ahead and speed up time. Then you can, also you can see what year it is at the very top. You can see how long we've been playing in terms of total years, what season it is. We're about mid-spring, and it's about midday morning as our people are kind of not going too far to the settlement area. And the temperature too, 11°C, which is not too warm, not too cold, but it'll definitely get colder as soon as we pass the summer, with winter coming very soon. We're going to need a lot more than these resources to survive. So we'll get started with some basic house building and building storage areas and how to set up work groups to tell everyone what their job should be to maximize their existence in ancient cities. All right, here we are in the city builder menu, and this is where we'll build our ancient city. We can already see the tribe leader right over here with the antlers on their heads, so that's pretty cool. You can actually see them with their cloak and their headdress on. Pretty cool indeed. Everybody else having some basic clothing of possibly linen or plant fibers, and also some straw hats and whatnot. So we're going to need to get our people some more before we get started, ready for winter. All right, well, let's look around and find those rivers that we were trying to, well, eventually connect with. Go ahead and see if there's, oh, right over here is the Big O River. Fantastic, a great spot to settle right here on the hill, as we have lots of reeds. This will provide us with straw and different types of materials, grasses for building roofs and such. So building near a river is almost a requirement. Building near a ocean is a lot more difficult. I think there should be more plant life near the oceans, but it seems to be more plentiful near rivers and lakes, especially rivers, though. As we kind of look up the pathway here, we can see a lot of trees, so eventually we can start cutting these down as we make stone axes and whatnot. And we can have a pretty good fortified position up here, too, although nothing at the moment currently attacks us. The next update coming soon will be more of a development on migration and making it so that way you want to set up several cities to eventually trade with and work between them rather than just one large city, which we'll probably be trying to get started here today. A lot more reed over here too, so you can see that, yeah, a lot of resources in order to gather that for a home. And our people will use an astronomical amount of this, so keep in mind that this isn't that much what we've seen so far. Looks like the junction for a river is actually kind of a swampland. Looks like it goes into some trees here and probably trickles into the other river. Oh, and there's like a little waterfall there. There's a few things that they're working on for river development that'll make it a little bit more smooth, but I think this looks pretty good here. And I think where we pointed out before is a really good spot for us to settle. Building up on hilltops and whatnot is really cool looking, but keep in mind if your people are going to go fishing or if they're going to gather reed, they have to come down the mountain, and that's going to be a big pain. So even though we really want to build up here where it looks cool, it's also going to be quite difficult for them to get down to go fishing and things like that. So keep in mind that that commute is going to be a long one, and they're probably going to have to go 3-4 times the length of the river just to get to where they're going. All right, well, here's all of our settlers and all of our survivors. We're going to go ahead and start making homes out of animal fiber or animal hides and also plant fiber. And a little bit of this and a little bit of that will help us to build homes faster, as we don't have any grass right now, but it's easy to gather. And we don't really have too many hides right now, but we can hunt for it. And so throughout the beginning of the spring and into the summer, our people are going to finally settle down and do just that. This is a pretty good area here to get reeds, as we pointed out before, and also over here too. So if we build next to the big rock, that's going to be our symbol right there. That's awesome. That's a big rock too. So this is where we're going to get started with our village building. It'll be a little bit on a hill, a bit of a slope, but it's okay. It'll be all right. All right, first things first then is our village development. So as for the Raptorians then, they need to go and build a bunch of other things. So as they're all around here gathering their wares and whatnot, we're going to try to take strategic time into account. Every single moment that our people are idling and not doing anything is a moment that they could be picking up a stick or gathering leaves or whatnot in order to make their base. So we need to make sure that we keep this on pause. And when we start laying out our buildings, they have to walk that whole distance that I just showed. Let's go ahead and start by building some new buildings then. We have traits for family and culture and whatnot for this individual. But we're going to go to the... oh, here we go. You can see all the information about the Mesolithic era and exactly what we need to be doing at this time. Let's see here. We have family. So this is a little bit more about the biological aspects of this person, and that has to do with the new update just before the tribal leader one about biological families and such. And so bonuses to be had for all of that. Let's go ahead and start building some homes then. First and foremost, the Pelt Hut, and then also the Reed Hut, as we're very close to a lot of reed. So we'll go with that. Go ahead and build a little hut over here if we can. And I think we'll probably face it right around here. Yeah, it's actually a really good spot right there where we were. And we'll also authorize the construction of a reed hut, since we're so close to reeds on either side. We'll go ahead and see if we can build these kind of more in a circle or whatnot. So let's see if we can go ahead and rotate our camera a little bit. And let's go ahead and rotate the hut. Oop. Let's see. Now we can tap R for kind of a more grid-like placement, and I think there's also a free placement too, so we'll go ahead and try to make sure we put them closer together. The less your people have to walk, the more productive they'll be getting to their jobs and doing all the things they need to for the day. Go ahead and start with 3 and see if they can get that built. We're also going to build something, and by the way, this is all the homes in the game too. A Pelt Hut, a small straw hut, a reed hut, straw hut, a big reed hut, and a big straw hut. So these are all made with different types of materials, like for example rope and sticks, and not some of them take fine sticks, I believe. And yeah, so for example the Pelt Hut, fine sticks, the big straw hut, just regular sticks. So different types of materials that you need to be on the lookout for as well. Additionally, we have a haystack, which is used to dry all of the grass out into hay in order to make some of those roofs for homes, and also to do repairs. We have baskets that can be made from plant fiber for storing food, and kind of the same with pits, although it's better for vegetables and other things that may spoil, as being underground it'll be a little bit cooler. And also a storehouse, which is good for all sorts of different materials and goods that you want to store. For now, we're going to have to start with a storage area on the ground though, however, and we don't have much really time in order to get all of this done, so the faster we can build that, the better. You can kind of see that we can build like a large circular area. We can also do free placement for a lot of these things. You can use the lasso if you'd like to. We're going to try to do a little square grid here and try to keep things a little bit organized. We're going to need storage for a few of the things that our camp will need right off the bat. So things like, for example, plant fibers, stones, rocks, a few other things like that. Looks like this one may be off a little bit. In that case, we can go ahead and delete that one or destroy it, and we can rebuild it to a better size. The size that better fits us. At a glance, we can also see our resources at the bottom, so if we want our people to bring things over here, we should also try to have an area for fish to be stored. Although they may put those into their homes as soon as they have constructed those. They can possibly store that stuff there. We also have the ability to produce fish, dried fish from dryers, and also Pelt Tanner, so we can make leather from that too for our hunting. And we also have the ability to let everyone sit down on benches or around a campfire, which we'll build that right out here as well. It's going to be our goal today, is to at least try to start construction on some of these things. And of course, having your camp set up like this is good, where the homes are together near the campfire so they can cook their meals and whatnot and socialize, but then also near their supplies, so that way at the beginning or the end of the day they can grab tools or anything else that they need to get started. Alright, we're going to go ahead and make one more group for storage. And then eventually we're going to get on a few of the other tasks for the what we saw just a moment ago, which was the I think this is actually the right size. Oh yeah, we'll make that a little bit bigger. Perfect. Okay, so we can make the storage a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller. But yes, we'll get started with the work groups that will allow them to hunt and fish. Okay, these are good now. The storage is fantastic. We'll start with one with raw stone, one with plant fibers, one with ropes, which we'll eventually make, and one with reeds. There they go. I believe that's it. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so that should be a good start for now. Let's go ahead and unpause, and our tribe members will come over here. This is going to take a very long time. They've got to walk a very long distance. There's no train, there's no bikes, there's no roads, there's nothing. There's humanity and Mother Earth, and that's it. And Mother Earth wants you dead. You hear me? Dead. So we got to fight back. Other things that we can fight back with, by the way, are also the ability to clear areas of obstruction. So we can kind of get rid of all the plants around. So we can actually build defenses around our camp if we want to. So if we want a large dirt area and then a large palisade around it, or perhaps some gates or whatnot, if we have defense of a canyon or whatnot, we can build at the bottom of that. And so eventually we could build a nice fortified area up here. If you think about it, we could build like a nice circle and store a lot of stuff here. Now, we aren't not going to be doing too much farming in the Mesolithic era. It's going to be all about fishing and hunting for now and gathering berries. And so we're not going to need too much other than storage areas and homes within. We also have some religious buildings, so we now have a temple to construct out of stone, and also some decorations, which are ovens, wells, and mills. Some more things for food that will be needed a little bit later. The Mesolithic era, there was gathering of things like wheat and barley and whatnot, but they weren't necessarily growing it, but we could gather it in large quantities and then eventually have a good time and a good feast. We're going to make a, let's see if we can make a fish dryer over here. Maybe something like this. That'll look good over here. And from my knowledge, we need more than one, but one is good to start with until we've got everyone set. All right, so now the Raptorians have some big tasks ahead of them. We now need to open the worker group AI or UI, and we'll start with things like, for example, gathering and fishing first, and then eventually move on to crafting, woodcutting, and hunting when we have some more tools to do so. Let's go ahead and get our people on gathering right away. We'll go ahead and assign maybe 4 people, and we'll have them gather pretty important things. Whoa, rainstorm already. All right, we're going to go ahead and have our people automatically gather for us. We're going to gather stones. We're going to gather plant fibers. We're going to gather sticks and reeds and fine sticks. And eventually we'll assign more people to this work group, and it'll get busier. Because we're also going to need food such as beetroots, mushrooms, rose hips, berries, clams, raw meat, hazelnut, and honeycomb. Now, they won't be able to find raw meat until the hunters have done their jobs, but for starters, at least they can go and gather anything that's needed. And so, thus, anything that they find in terms of berries or whatnot, they can gather right away. The calm gatherers, yes. All right, let's see. Perfect. All right, look at all these people coming over. This is amazing. Very cool to see. So they are coming over in single file right now in order to clear that landscape out for the storage areas and for the homes. And then eventually they'll get on gathering sticks and stuff. And a cool thing you can see, too, is that they can actually make pathways with how they're walking. You can actually see them trample the grass and create some really cool footpaths as they go from their spawn area when they arrive to an area where there's more of a perfect home. So you can kind of almost see where they came down to this rock, hung a left turn, and have started to build the camp. Now, as for water, I believe at this point in the game there's not really much of a concern about these people needing to clean themselves or to have fresh drinking water. And rain, of course, is just it's kind of more atmospheric because there's not really crops to worry about, but it may do things like affect gathering of berries and or maybe perhaps you're harder to detect for animals. Maybe it makes hunting easier because they can't hear you coming. And maybe they'll be seeking shelter and allow you to ambush. Wow, that's cool. All right, since our people have also gathered a lot of hay because of all the clearing of areas for homes, we're going to ask them to put some of that hay down over here. And we'll build that as soon as they find more sticks. A lot of things to do, not a lot of time to do it, and a lot of things need to be done all at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and increase the gathering group from 4. Now let's see if we can go back to our jobs for that. Oh, there it was. From 4 to 8 if we can. Or actually even more. Probably a good idea to do that. 8 is a good start. We're going to need more than that. Looks like we got people going back to gather supplies and or gathering things where they've spawned. So we'll have a few people over the map walking around between these plains. The map looks gorgeous, by the way. I haven't seen too much of improvement, but it definitely reminds me of Frozenheim, at least in terms of the attempt to put different types of meadow flowers down, flooded areas, grasslands, tree stumps, tipped over trees, etc. Looks really cool. And you can see the roads coming in. Perfect. So what we could do, as I mentioned before about building gates, we could actually use this rock as a defensive structure for ourselves. The enemy could probably easily climb over that, but we could actually integrate it and make it look cool. Put a gate here and a wall all around this side and then up the edges. So we'll have kind of more of a triangular shaped defense, which would be cool. But that's something you want to build towards the end because food is much more important. All right, check that out. We got people dropping off sticks where they need to be in storage and or construction sites. And we've got people gathering straw now on their backs. You can kind of see them taking all that stuff out of there and dumping it wherever as they're about to build this. I believe this is the haystack here. Yeah, so the fine sticks have been brought over. They'll do some construction soon. But gathering is much more important. We're going to need fish. We're going to need berries. We're going to need all that stuff throughout the year. And we're also going to have to assign a fishing group to do that. And eventually we can make fishing spears and whatnot. But since we're kind of building, we're just kind of waiting for everybody to arrive with the materials needed. And once the homes have started their construction, and we've got a few of those kind of underway, we can then start worrying a little bit more about manufacturing with the workforce, because a lot of those homes will still need ropes, and most of the building can be built if they're lacking a material, or have it delivered, but eventually it will hit the end of the road, and so we'll have to worry about that. Oh, we got some more people kind of going off, and seems that that person might be part of the gathering group. Alright, so the areas are cleared. Good to see. And I think we've already got these assigned. Yes, we do. We'll need to have a group for gathering reeds, so let's go ahead and actually reassign the gathering group and kind of focus them a little bit more on food. Let's do this. We're going to have this group now focus solely on food, so we'll rename this food gathering. And they will go and find anything that we can eat, and hopefully bring it back here. I believe eventually they'll start to bring it back to the homes, and then when those are full, they can bring it to storage and have it stored for a longer period of time in one of the storehouses, rather than being immediately eaten. Let's also go to the work group for gathering. Materials, we'll go ahead and call this the material gathering. Excellent. Oh, guess we can't fit the whole name. Nope. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and call this materials. Okay, now the next thing is to get people assigned to that, so we'll probably go for more like 5 or 6, and we'll assign them to gather. We can gather bones to make tools, but really what we want is stones, plant fibers. Well, you know what we really want is probably just wood to get started. Stones will come a little bit later. We'll go for just nothing but the reeds, the logs, and the sticks for now. And I believe if we assign them to straw, they'll also put it there at the haystack, which will be constructed eventually. Alright, you can kind of see where things are constructed now. The blue line is how far things are along. The campfire being probably the most simplest, with a few sticks and some stones for the campfire itself. And hopefully we have that up by night. Hey, our first construction is done. Fantastic. Looks like the fish dryer is ready to go. Great. So we are making some progress. And probably the best thing to build first, the fish dryer, as fish are definitely a good source of food, and if caught, will take some time to dry, so they'll get started with that right away. Love this too. Your people, as they're idle or taking the rest of the day off, actually sit down on rocks and kind of hang out that way. And eventually you can build those benches that we saw before, and you can make areas for them to socialize within the camp and kind of keep them near a fire or an interesting point of interest, for example. Alright, let's go ahead and get another group up as well. And of course, at this point, if you have any detailed tips for anyone else, especially with some of the new things, like, for example, the tribe leader and how they can be more beneficial, the Mesolithic jobs and what should be prioritized, and or, of course, the biological families and how that may benefit the end game or mid game, let us all know down below in the comment section. So many people writing up college-level theses, and that's really cool to see. Everybody's like a doctorate in video games with all the thesis after thesis that I've read time and time again on what should be done and when, especially in this game too. A lot of debate on what's more optimal, but sometimes it just depends on how you set things up. Alright, for the first night, our people sleeping outside, they're not going to be too happy with that, but it's near impossible to migrate to an area, find a really good spot within the city, and then start building and have it done within the first day. That's a very tall order. But these are nomadic tribes. They're used to living outside, and they can definitely handle this. Alright, let's do another group here. Actually, let's see if any more construction goes on. We got the ability to migrate, build. I think we're good on that. I see the campfire almost done. A few more stones perhaps to bring over. And eventually more and more homes will go up. It'll be good to see. Now, we also have people set to automatic gathering, and we can also adjust a little bit more than what they're doing now. Right now, they're kind of just chilling around waiting for their workday to start. And so we can adjust tribe-level policies through our tribal leader, I believe. There should be a way to do that. Oh, looks like he's part of that as well. Let's see, assign, automatic gathering. We can assign for construction. And there is a way to give our people orders for how long the work days can be. They're not going to be happy with that, but if we can get a jump start on that, it'll make things much better at the very beginning. Let's see here. So there's our labor age. We want younger people to start working. Obviously not a great thing, but better than being dead. You want to play and you want to be able to enjoy your youth, but we're going to go ahead and increase labor time a little bit. And rationing will be cut just a little bit as well. Alright, so we need a lot of work to be done, so less eating, more working, and everybody's got to work. That's basically our policy for the first few days until we've secured the settlement. Alright, let's go back then. It looks like everybody's making their way through the camp again, bringing back materials. I can see ropes and such here being delivered already, or plant fibers, which always look like ropes to me. And let's go ahead and prioritize the small fireplace. What materials may be missing for that one? Looks like it might have all the materials it needs, and it just needs somebody to complete the construction. So while we wait, let's speed up time. We've given our people some pretty good orders to start with. And I think what we should do is get a hunting group out to see if we can get some animals to finish up those other homes. I'm not sure if we can actually go hunting now. Oh, looks like we can hunt for rabbits. So it looks like they might actually be able to go and possibly trap them. They might hunt and also trap. But any of those skins could be brought back to turn into hide. So we might as well build a tanning building as well. So yeah, as you can see, not much built, but there's a lot of activity. And there's a lot more than just people wandering back and forth going on. They are bringing materials over as quickly as they can. And there you go, the fire pit is complete. Excellent. Well, that's good news. Let's build the Pelt Tanner right over here. There we go. And that'll get up eventually too. Alright, so the Pelt Tanner will allow us to finish some more of these homes, and we want people to go gather reeds. We did give them orders to do so. It might be a little too early for them to gather those as well, but I think what we'll do to prioritize things is it might be a good idea to give our materials gatherers a specific objective to, and I think we'll cancel the other two for now, but let's go ahead and give them a specific objective to not do this automatically, but we're going to use something else in this case. We're going to assign them, if we can, gather here, this area. This is what we want them to gather. Let's see, no projects currently assigned. There's a way to kind of lasso this, and I forget how. I want to tell them exactly where to go. We don't want them to build. We don't want them assigned. And they're only assigned to reeds, and we're definitely going to need that. And I don't exactly remember how they dry the reeds out, but well, anyway, that looks like the group is at least set to produce, and I think they'll pick the ones closest to the nearest construction project or storage yard. So let's speed up time again and wait for some more homes to be complete. Now, when I've built larger homes in this game, when we've built some of the larger straw huts, it can take an entire year just to build one of those, and so it's much better to go smaller and go faster in terms of beelining for all the materials that are needed. But in this case, you can see people bringing over barrels. Awesome. And we've got food and stuff, and now people can sleep near the campfire. Oh, in the rain. Oh no. That's alright, they're surviving and thriving. Alright, so now some more work being done on the tanning building, and let's see how our hunters are doing. We've given them the order to go hunt rabbits, but I guess anything will do. Wild boar, deer, goat, hare, and muffins. Mouflon. Yes, of course, all sorts of different good things here to munch on. Goats, sheep, piggies, eventually, when they're domesticated. But that'll be a different story, a different time to worry about there. We also want to adjust our prey size range, so the bigger rabbits will be prioritized in the future. All right, well, now we see people bringing over reeds. That's good. So the reed harvesting is working. And they're going to either gather from the... Oh, wow. Nice. Very good. And look at how beautiful the river looks. I must say, I've always enjoyed the environments of this game. I think they were stellar from the beginning, and I think they really have gotten even better with the amount of detailing and how thick and lush some of the forests look. You can see lily pads sitting around, but also a rushing river in the middle, and also the reeds on the side. And we're going to be gobbling up all of these. So they're going to take from here and the other side of the river, and there might be some good fishing territory here too. And the great thing about where we settled is there's rivers on either side, so look at all the fishing here, and look at all the fishing here that we could do, and then also upstream too in these bays. So there hopefully is a lot of food for us in terms of fish, and hopefully they get on to drying some of those fish soon too. We'll see if we can assign somebody a fishing job then. And what do we have here? Oh wow, is that a pile of meat? I believe that might be... Well, that must be meat, because that's not dried fish that they brought with them. My goodness. Well, good work, everybody. Well, let's move on to the last thing we want to do for our work groups for now then, is fishing. Although nobody's hunting, so I have no idea what happened there. Good work, everyone. And lots of food. We're going to need more, though. This is nowhere near enough. Let's do a fishing group. Fishers times 2. Or 3. 2 or 3. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's go through another day. Well, good news. They've got some warmth up. They're starting to deliver all the materials to the construction sites. That might be what's over here that they're storing it at. No, that seems to be a... Yeah, that's exactly what we want them to store there. All right, let's go ahead and go with material gathering again, and we'll add sticks to that. And I believe these houses take fine sticks as well. Let's see, or rather, base sticks. Let's see. Building. Construction 0 to 130. Not enough raw stones, so we also need to add that to the list. So stones are important, but the reed is also important too. But let's go ahead and add that to the list then. Raw stones, perfect. Okay, so yes, food gathering a little bit more important than materials, but we still want them at the same kind of priority. We'll just have more workers in one than the other. So 6 in this team, 8 on the other. And then 2 people fishing, which it looks like we have, and then hunters whenever a rabbit or something happens to gather into the area. Well, they're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're trying to get them via their hands. Trying to fish by hand. That's got to be difficult. And they should add them to the drying rack shortly. Look at all that reed. Beautiful. It looks like they might be divvying up food to go into the houses as soon as they're completed. More reeds coming through. Let's go ahead and set this reed hut to a high priority, as well as this one here. So that will allow them to gather all the materials needed for the reed huts and put it there first. We want the huts done ASAP. Great music in this game too. As you slow down or speed up time, there'll be different you know, rhythms going on and such. Rhythm is a dancer. What? Rhythm is a dancer. All right, we got lots of rocks over here, so that's great. Lots of raw stones, a good fishing spot, an elevated position from enemies. Although it doesn't matter at the moment, it's still a smart thing to think about. Homes actually being constructed. And it looks like they're using maybe fine sticks for that. That seems to be them. We'll put that on the shopping list too. Actually, I believe that's correct. The fine sticks are needed for the smaller homes. The reed homes, yeah. Those actually might be bigger. select few get a house to start with, and then everybody gets a home. How lucky. Right, over on the left side, let's increase materials to, instead of sticks, we'll just add regular fine sticks. Now, we're not going to be able to store all this stuff, which is okay. A lot of things are just not being stored because they're going directly to the homes. But the things eventually that we will need for more homes, we'll store a little bit later. Okay, so now we see the frames of the houses going up. Beautiful. Lots of reeds to start putting around them. We might need more ropes. So let's go ahead and start a group on production of ropes. The craftsman team will start producing non-stop rope and fine sticks. We can eventually put these into storage. And we're going to go ahead and make this group a high priority to fulfill first because they're needed to help construct homes. Everybody else is on food, and that's also needed. There we go. How lovely. So a good storage of reeds. I don't even think this is enough to build one home, honestly, but they will continue to go out and gather that. Now, another good thing about reed is that it will continue to grow back. I believe trees will grow back as well, and so will grass and such. So as long as your people aren't trampling there, you can use it as a harvest area for the future for maintenance or future home construction or whatever you want to do to expand. So it's a good thing to do. Well, let's see if we can build a social building. As we now have families and such, they may want to talk to each other. So we can build a large bench or a medium bench. Let's go ahead and build a large one. Actually, we'll do a medium one. And we'll need to probably start logging for that, but that doesn't mean we can't just set it up in advance and know what will be there. And we'll go ahead and build it maybe out here. Something along those lines. There we go. Perfect. So when our people are making stone axes, which is a little bit more advanced, then they can start cutting down trees. And it looks like we got a good area to cut down trees across the river. We also have a good area over there across the river. And a large number of trees by the rock. And even more trees at the end of our kind of triangular base, if you will. Alright, so I believe these homes are lacking rope at the moment. Physical integrity, building. Not enough sticks, not enough rope. Yes, we are missing the rope. So, and it looks like regular sticks that they need. Well, anyway, we're going to need a little bit of everything. It doesn't stop. It's always a constant. You always must improve and continue to build with more things. Well, would you look at that? We did actually find raw meat. Perhaps our people are gathering that from carcasses of dead animals, which isn't the wisest of things, but if it's a fresh kill, they might be able to salvage something from it, but that gives our people something to gather at the... Oh, wow, they actually did gather and make a medium bench there. Or maybe, it looks like it has to be assembled. Somebody needs to set it up right and carve out the base. But anyway, that's good. So now we can have a little area for everybody to sit around. So hopefully ropes are being made. Let's check our rope group. Let's see. So craftsmen are at 0. We made them a higher priority, so let's go ahead and reduce food gathering. On wise, I will regret that, but we must still get homes up. We made a promise. If we want to run for re-election, we got to clean this city up. In fact, we got to build this city. It's that clean. We're going to make it dirty and then clean it up. That's what we're going to do. Good. Well, let's speed up time a little bit. So yeah, it looks like the tanning thing is still being made. A lot of now these are children sitting around, I believe. Yeah, so 14 and 18 to what? Everybody's kind of just sitting around at their younger ages, which we tried to make them a little younger while they, you know, were working because they're still eating food. Everybody else is working to feed them, so let's go ahead and lower that age again. Let's get everybody working. Sorry, kids. Time to, you know, time to lean, time to clean. Let's go. No Fortnite. You're going to have to build a fort for the night. That's what you're going to have to do. IRL building. Seems cruel, but they can still do menial tasks like, for example, carrying fish back from the rivers, or learning how to fish, or gathering berries, or moving materials around. Really just truck drivers, brother. Amen. Inside of every one of us. There's a 13-year-old who wants to shift gears on a Kenworth, or Peterbilt, or Volvo. Who knows? Very good. All right, well, we need to get these homes up. That's our last remaining task, so it looks like everybody's off for the day. And so now the next goal is to speed up time to the next day and see if we can get everybody to... Wait a minute. Hold on. Labor age dawn. Oh, I see. We set it to the youngest. I see. I was wondering what it meant by midnight. I thought that was work times. I think that means by the... Maybe that's how their age. Midnight is like, you know, about to die or whatever. The elderly. So I believe it's set now to where everyone will work. Oh, good. We got a... Is this a fisher here? Oh, craftsman. With problems. And that says... Group of craftsmen, yeah. There's going to be lots of problems, shortage of supplies, etc. Getting there, getting there. Oh, the Pelt Hut is complete, or pretty close. So we probably were able to find skins in the forest and such. So that might be a good way to start. But we got our first home up, damn it. We did it. We got one. And that's home enough for 4. Good. 4 out of 16. These ones will be 5. So we'll have 14 out of 16. So we'll have to build another home. So we'll start with these 3. Once they're all ready to go and up and running, we'll probably build one more home back here and continuously kind of build huts and stuff facing the fire if we can, and move our storage around. We can always empty this and move it away, but the more and more we have, the better it is. The closer it is, the better. All right, well, we got our first hut up. That feels really good. I'm very proud of myself. Excellent. And we still need to build those rope, and so that means more plant fiber, so we need to get a group on plant fiber. That's the next thing. So let's see. Raptorians. Groups. Materials. Let's go ahead and put a full stop on everything but plant fiber. And then the craftsmen can make their ropes, which they're trying to craft fine sticks and ropes. So let's go ahead and also gather rope. Plant fibers for ropes and sticks for fine sticks. And it looks like they can also grab those too. All right, very good. Do we want to set the workforce the other way? It looks like there may be less people working. It's always unclear to me what that setup is. Set your try policies and configuration. I think this is who works, or who does. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Well, I see more people moving now. Maybe that's what it was. I had the right idea. It was the slider just going in the wrong direction. I think. But yes, if people are going to go find sticks, it's probably going to be in the forest. And or plant fibers too. I think that's right. We'll put rationing into the middle. I think we were giving too much food. But until these homes are up, we just got to work, work, work. It's going to be a sucky couple of days, but after that, then we start fishing and everybody has shelter. And we are approaching the summer. It is now May, spring of the first year, so we do have quite a bit of time, but after this, it all comes down to fishing, 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 and drying, drying, drying. Drying all those fish. Not bad. Where did everybody go off to? Oh, would you look at that? 14-year-old. Yes, they're carrying sticks and such back, so yes. Okay, that must have worked. I see long convoys going into the forest. So everybody is gathering materials, it seems. And yes, 14. Okay, so we set it up correctly. All right, so in retrospect, slide it to the right side. The kids got to help. The kids got to help. It's like a camping trip, you know? Oh, it's raining. And of course, me. The tribal leader gets the first house. It's only fair. It would affect my ability to lead them, and they wouldn't want that to happen. You know what I mean? It's for their own good. Just imagine that, but like a sling instead. All right, cool. So now we're starting to make ropes. We must be, as everybody's going off to gather stuff out of the forest. Take a look one last time at the teams for craftsmen. Well, they are gathering the fine sticks. Plant fibers are still elusive, but are being gathered by the materials team. And they should be being stored too. One of our storage areas should have plant fibers. Also, we didn't get the haystack up, but that must take ropes. There it is. And that should be plant fibers. Indeed it is. But no area to store ropes. Yes, we have ropes right there. Well, since it's such an in-demand resource for the homes and for the remaining structures, it probably disappears immediately. So the next few days on that. Now, as for pelts, let's take a look at what we got at the bottom. Yeah, we only got one rawhide. And I think that's the same as... no, leather is different, so... we're at least able to build one home to start with. Good. Now they're doing very well. Very well indeed. All right, so with the tribe leader update to come, we need to find out how to use our tribe leader much more effectively. We need to see how biological families affect the relationship between people and see if it prevents fights or creates more, and exactly how Mesolithic jobs, since its release, I think in October or somewhere around there, has changed it so that way our people can do more to be effective. Now keep in mind, things are limited here because it's early access, and also it's the year, what, 6749 BC? So it's not like we're going to be building any sort of castles or anything like that, but we definitely have the ability to defend ourselves, and I want to see more in this game. I've seen a lot so far, and I want to see more to come. I'm still not satisfied yet. Hunting is a great addition that should have been there in day one, and now is finally here, as well as fishing that was here. And now with the ability to better manage our people, well, things seem to be going quite good. See a lot of people moving around and building all these structures, so that's good. In the mornings, everybody getting rocking and going down to gather reed or plant fibers. Good to see. Looks like they're crossing the river too to go gather some things. Possibly plant fibers over here. Or berries. Or both. Very nice. Let's see, the food team is not finding rose hips. Some things they might not find, hazelnuts. Some things don't come around until later, they're seasonal. But they should be being stored at the camp somewhere, so I must do a much better job with the storage. Although, if we have somebody do storage, that takes away from plant fibers and whatnot, so they'll just bring it somewhere here at the camp and eat when they need to. So far, so good, though. Nobody starving, nobody freezing. And eventually we'll need to provide more goods and services to our people. Excellent. Well, not bad for a first start here, I would say. Not bad indeed. All right. Well, folks, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you click or tap that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell and let me know you want to see more as we complete our other homes here. Check it out. We're going to continue on with this one in a live stream in the future, so if you want to see more Dawn of Man, Ancient Cities, and also Banished, let me know. We'll be playing through all of those games, so make sure you subscribe. But more specifically, this game, Ancient Cities, is available now on PC. We got a long way to go and much more to see, but I like what I see here. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. The houses are being built. We'll build some more and more and more sometime in the future. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for all the support. Don't be afraid to say hi down below in the comment section and ask a question or give feedback. And smack a like and let me know you want to see more. Seriously, it matters a lot. So thank you very much. And I'll see you all next time. Have a fantastic afternoon, good evening, and a good night, folks. Goodbye.